Okay, I finally finished this book, and I just need to sit down and talk about it for a minute, or maybe 10. I don't say this lightly. This might be one of the most meaningful books I've ever read. I finished the Stoic Rider, and what surprised me most wasn't just the content, it was how universal it felt. I kept thinking, this isn't really a motorcycle book, this is a human book. Yes, riding is the lens, but the lessons land no matter who you are, how old you are, or where you are in your life. By the time I reached the end, I realized how gently this book teaches you. It doesn't lecture, it doesn't overwhelm, it offers clarity through simple ideas, familiar moments, and small shifts in how you see the world. These are deep concepts, but they're delivered in a way that feels calm, logical, and doable. The kind of wisdom you can actually carry with you. For me, so many of these ideas echoed things I already believe, ideas I found reinforced in the Bible. But what I love is that she pulls from philosophy instead, which makes this book accessible to anyone, wherever you are spiritually or emotionally. I want to read a passage that really set the tone for me. She writes, "Start by asking, what's mine to carry? Your choices, your responses, your values. And then ask, what's not? The weather, the past, other people's egos. Then take a breath, unclench your grip, and go forward with fewer expectations, but more attention." That line, unclench your grip, I felt that. One of the strongest themes throughout the book is about where we place our attention. She writes, "The trick isn't in resisting what you fear, but in finding what matters and fixing your eyes on it, like the last lit window on a dark street. Look where you want to go, not where you're afraid to go." That's not just riding advice, that's life advice. This book kept reminding me that the truth shows up in a lot of places. Philosophy, riding, and faith often say the same things in different languages. There's a verse in the Bible I keep coming back to. God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. And that idea of self-control really matters here, because it's not just about being afraid. It's about choosing where you put your attention and how you respond, even when fear shows up. The second half of the book really leans into community, and that part surprised me in the best way. She writes, "Belonging for the Stoics was never about joining a club or being liked. It was about alignment, living in agreement with nature, with reason, with the whole." She talks about how riding with others creates a collective rhythm and how deeply we all crave a tribe. She goes on, "Next time you feel like an outsider, and you will, remember this. Your place isn't earned by credentials, it's revealed in connection." Wow, I love that. That one really stayed with me. Toward the end, she breaks down the 4 Stoic virtues: courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. She writes, "Wisdom isn't knowing everything, it's knowing about yourself. And virtue isn't about big moments, it's about the small, deliberate acts that shape character over time." And then she goes on, "The 4 virtues aren't abstract nouns, they're habits, muscles you strengthen through repeated use." One of the parts that I superstarred in my notes is when she talked about courage. She writes, "Courage is not bravado. When you show up for someone, not because it benefits you, but because it's the kind of person you want to be." And then she goes a step further and reminds us that this kind of living actually matters. She writes, people who volunteer regularly or consistently practice kindness and tend to experience greater contentment and even live longer. That idea stopped me because it reframes courage as a service and kindness as a daily practice, not a personality trait. She talks about virtue, but not as perfection, but as repetition. She writes, virtue isn't sainthood. It's showing up as your best rider, your best human, 1 mile at a time. The example she gives, inviting a newcomer, riding slower so someone doesn't feel left behind, looping back when someone's struggling. That's who I try to be, as a rider, but more importantly, as a human. I have to say, so many parts of this book reminded me of a dear friend, BDR Ambassador Mark Axelberg. If you're lucky enough to know him, you'll understand exactly what I mean. I believe he embodies so much of what's referenced in this book. This book didn't encourage me to change everything overnight. It made me want to pay better attention, to live more deliberately, to show up with integrity, even when no one's watching. If you've read this book, I'd love to hear what stayed with you. If it's on your reading list for 2026, I can't recommend it enough. And if you're interested, the She ADV Book Club is hoping to make this our second read this year. We'd love to have you join us for a live discussion, whether you ride ADV, street bikes, or you're just someone trying to live a more intentional life.